Hello, hello, hello. Let those notifications go out. All right, everybody. And so, yes, it's another season. And God says it's catch up season. And I just looked at one of our fellow warriors' new releases, and he talked about how massive wealth. I'm gonna catch that message later because I have a feeling it aligns with this one. And you got to remember something though. Wealth isn't just financial, y'all. It's in knowledge. It's in so many ways. Health. Okay, so you got to remember there's various ways that God had us put in position for such a time as this. It catch up season. He said everything that we've been working on and that we keep. Just remember, we work while we wait. And he told me, he said, honey child, he said, yeah, he said, it's catch up season for y'all. For all y'all, for all of God's chosen ones, it is catch up season. So while those notifications are going out, I am Michelle Dickey, your host for CHA's Motivational Monday show, where we, God willing, get up here around 4 p.m. Eastern Time on Mondays, obviously, and give y'all some motivation. And remember, our Motivational Monday shows are structured for a little advertising. So we're going to... And remember. Okay, there we go. Hello, everybody. All right, so we wanted to check that and see how that's going. Okay, now. Your host, yes, Motivational Monday show streaming on the YouTube channel, Narcissism and Cognitive Dissonance, where trauma healing and spiritual growth are front and center while combating radio frequency for healthier living. So, yep, wealthy in knowledge, spirit, and wisdom, not just finances, but just wait. God said we're going to get our inheritance. The devil can't stop that from happening. God said he had planned for us to prosper us in all areas of our life. And that includes getting stronger in spirit. How do you get stronger in spirit? Right, you got to stay in the Word of God, right? You got to read that Bible. Got to meditate on His Word. Because, like I put out there on Instagram, Jeremiah 29:11, there's no, it basically is telling us that God's not going to, God not going to harm His chosen one. He will prosper us. And never forget, He will prosper us right in front of everybody who tried to destroy us. Remember, there's that meme that goes around out there. And it's so true. It says, you better watch out for those who bounce back from everything that was meant to destroy them. Those are God's people. That's us, chosen one. That's us. And we changed that thinking because it ain't no longer a setback. Whenever something happens and it seems like it's negative or what have you, yes, health is wealth. You hear that a lot, and it is true. So, radio frequency poisoning takes that wealth away from us. That's why we're combating it for healthier living. That's part of it. And so when the Lord said it's catch-up season, He said, I want you to get back to your walking. He said, I need you to get back to walking. He has us take short breaks from certain things all the time. Okay, all the time. But then He says, all right, catch-up season, time to get back on track. So that's what we're doing. So chosen one, He wanted me to tell y'all that whatever it is that He's had you working on to put in position, He wants you to be ready. Be ready to receive. He gets us ready all the time. Be ready to receive. Okay, so just note that. Because there's breakthroughs all around us. Yeah, we see the increase. After we start feeling the increase, feel the increase. You see the increase in the spiritual, then you feel it. then you start to notice it in the physical. And with that increase is abundance. Remember, Jesus said, I came so that they can live and live more abundantly. So Jesus is showing us that abundance. He's showing us how to stretch things. Thank you for putting that in the comment. Yeah. And don't forget to put it in the comments on the replay too. Be ready to receive. That's right. Be ready to receive. Because it's going to happen. It's going to happen. And God does do something suddenly. Just never forget, like I teach often, that his suddenly is different than the devil's suddenly. See, the devil just like to catch people off guard. Right? That's right. Just like these narcissists. They like to catch people off guard, because catch people off guard, then it might be easier for them to fall for the deception. And, right. And it also, if he catches us off guard, it gives him the illusion that he still has wiggle room. This is why we learned that those boundaries are so important. Like I have one that if somebody, if I ain't expecting, it don't get opened. Okay? No. Well, if I ain't going somewhere. So, catch-up season, meaning that, okay, a good example, CHA Academy. The Lord said, we have courses in position. Okay? Courses in position already. The material's already there. Everything you all need. Complete the course is there. You do get certificates of completion when you finish. Yes, you get certificates of completion when you finish the courses at CHA Academy. The link to that down below for anybody who wants to check those things out. It's all about God's wisdom with basic scientific facts, tried and true techniques, and more. And you're going to learn. As this show is structured for advertising, you're going to learn. Yes, thank you, Chris. I know. It sure is. Good job keeping up. And that's why on these days we're not going to the stores or anything yet. Not during the detox season. Okay? And listen, as he continued, the Lord continued to have us get more things put in position. He's getting us ready. Think about that. So once we have it in position, remember the 5 P's. That's one of the courses at CHA Academy, because God is planner, preparer, producer, positioner, and then a promoter. Think about that. He said, put it in position. He says, I want you to promote. As you continue to promote, things gonna catch up. See, a lot of people will teach that you start with 1 or 2 platforms, and that typically that would be the ideal way to go. All right, if you're launching a ministry, it's just to start with a couple of platform and branch out gradually. And we did branch out gradually now after we launched the website. But God had us get a lot of things in position. The Patreon channel, he had us get the academy put together. He had us get all of this stuff put together, and a lot of content on this channel in position for such a time as this, because he knew I was going to have to detox again. That's why I invited y'all to come with us on this detox journey. But when God says it's catch-up season, we got to be ready to receive. And what does that look like? To be ready to receive. Right, be ready to receive means, okay, declutter. Where do you need to declutter? I'll share with you all what mine was. My utensils. Because see, before I entered the season of assessing needs versus wants, because out of habit and what we were influenced by, in believing and thinking of all the things in a kitchen that we need versus what we want. And so God had me say, okay, how many spatulas do you really need? But that's kind of like 5. And he said, okay, 3 is enough. It's just me. Yeah, I had to do an assessment. I had to declutter my utensil to make space on the counter, because he knows that we're going to do, he knows that we're going to do some more cooking demos for the Patreon channel. That's what that looks like. Decluttering. Okay? And then that could even be decluttering your hard drive. To make room for more of CHA's Real Talk with God Wisdom videos. And so it could also mean reorganize. So like keeping things in order, right? And then, okay, here's what we're working on today. One day at a time, right? Okay, in a notepad. But keep it orderly. He could have us be working on tallying out the amount of sodium we're taking in, a low sodium challenge, so we could be ready to receive more healing. That's right. Yes, we do have more coming, because it's necessary to go with the guide that we're providing you all, right? Now, how do I prepare the sweet potato hash with an egg, right? Y'all can see how I do it, and then fine tune and tweak. You don't have to do it exactly the same way I do, but it gives you a visual. So, yeah, it got on my spirit. It's on the vision board. And I know that, again, you all were very aware that there are some of the Jezebel checking in to see if I got any bruising on arms still. Because remember, it gives the devil the illusion of pain and suffering. That ain't happening. Okay? But I want you to also remember that the backdrop here, it has a little bit of a haze with it. I don't know. It's just the way it is. But anyhow, yeah, be ready. That's what God said. He said, be ready. And we don't let, that kind of behavior deter us from doing what it is that God has us doing. Because when the enemy want to check in when we live streaming to see if any of their handiwork is still lingering, just know that it ain't gonna be long before it's all gone. God says it's catch-up season, and so that means, in my case, physical healing too. He said everything that we've been doing, dietary wise and ice packing wise, he said it's catch-up season. He said we're gonna get all them toxins out of that body, baby. Flushing season. That water, right? And keep planning, preparing, producing, positioning. Because once you get things in position, start to promote it, it's going to catch up with you. So, I'll get to your question and insight right after. Right after this short break. So stay tuned to learn more about catch-up season.
Are you ready to get better organized in thought and action to level up your trauma healing and spiritual growth? The 5P coaching course at CHA Academy is for you. You will learn the tried and true techniques that will help you get better organized in thought and action to get things done effectively and efficiently. Once you begin putting the 5Ps in action, you will quickly see how they often work together simultaneously. Once enrolled in the course, you receive lifetime access to the course materials and the community forum where masterclasses are available at no additional cost. You can learn more about the 5P coaching course at CHAAcademyBTBW.com and click on all courses. Thank you for enrolling. Sending love and light always.
Okay. I have never, thank you. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. Chris, no, I have never cooked a meat pie. I don't recall. No, I have bought store-bought pot pies before. But as far as baking a meat pie myself, no. But that can go on the list of things new to try. Now, this studio apartment is very small. So I don't know how much baking will actually go on in here because I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Because I know that the Lord's been showing me some things that will happen in the future when I'm in a larger place. So, yeah. And it's going to happen. Yeah. And we're getting in position, right? Get things in position. And then we get in position, be ready to receive, right? It makes me think of the wide receiver in football. Be ready to receive. Okay, there's an art to getting the pastry right with the pie. Okay, well, fine. Nope, I've never made dumplings either, but you know what? There's going to be a lot of things that we're going to try. New things. Remember, God is always doing a new thing. So while it's catch-up season for his chosen one, where everything that we have been working on is going to catch up with us, it has to. It has to. That's the rule in the spiritual. It has to. When you manifest it in the spiritual and you believe, well, then it's got to make its way into the physical. That's the only way. This is why we learn to be careful what we speak, though, too, and what we think. So, yeah, there you go. Yeah, being ready to receive, because God said, yeah, he said, everything that we've been working on is going to catch up with us one way or the other. There's nothing that can stop God. Everything at God's appointed time also. So we have to remember that. And again, continue to work while we wait. So we're bringing you all more content. We're bringing you all more insights. We're now doing IG motivational memes. So you see? Yeah. And what I find to be really interesting is that's doing very well. And I'm not surprised. It's catch-up season. That's what God said. He says catch-up season. Everything you've been working on. Including the detoxing and the healing. He said everything. He said it's catch-up season. He said ain't nothing going to stop it. Nothing can. Because it's God. God is the Almighty. And so with the Godhead on the inside, chosen ones are successful in everything that we do. They change that thinking. There is no failure. There is no fail for chosen one. There's lessons. Now, narcissists, there's failure for them because they fail to destroy us. Yes, that's it. Catch-up season. It's all of our work coming to fruition. That's it right there. Yeah. So everything that you've been working on and planning and preparing for, God says, I need you to get excited because it's catch-up season. He said, that trip you've been planning? He said, oh, it's he. He said, it right around the corner. Catch-up season. So all that we've been working on along this way, from the launch of the website, just giving y'all an example, from the launch of the website up until today, where he replanted us Remember, when God replants you, it takes a little time for the roots to take hold. What that means is it takes time to settle. It takes time to come into alignment. And it takes time to execute the 5 P's, plant those seeds, and then you water them. You water them with a little repetition here and there. You water them with more content. You water them with, oh yeah, many ways, okay? That's a metaphor. So, but a trip, business trip, oh, I'll let y'all know. Oh, well, you'll know. You'll know based on the video. Okay, you'll know by the background and things. And of course, I'll let you know. But yeah, absolutely. He said, we're going back on business trips. There ain't no way around it. We got to get out there and advertise. Because there's more people looking for this ministry. We know this, chosen one. We are a growing community of spiritual warriors for Christ. We picking up our cross and following Jesus. That's it. And we let the dead bury their dead. Right? Leave them where they at. They're going to take each other out. But we pay attention also to what's going on out there. Yep. We pay attention. Because we don't want to miss what God's going to reveal. Because you never know sometimes. And then, like I've said before, it's ketchup season, he said, right? Let's drop that in the comments below. It's ketchup season. Not ketchup as in the condiment. C-A-T-C-H. All right? As plain catch. You know? Catch it. Yeah, catch it in the spirit. Right? Absolutely. Got to catch it in the spirit. So, when God does that, a lot of times he's going to say, I can show you something. I was like, ooh. I get excited. Thank you. Yeah. Catch-up season. I get excited because whenever God says, I'm going to show you something, I'm like, ooh, all right. Because I know it's going to be good. In fact, it's going to be fantastic. But you better listen for that. Listen for when God said, I'm going to show you something. Or I have something to show you. However it is, he tells you he's going to show you something. Be ready. Get in position. And be ready to receive what he's going to show you. Meaning aware. So what does that look like? Okay, for example, on my walk this morning. Yes, he said, even though it's that day, we can go for a walk. That's not going to, yep. So, because we need the circulation. So he says, all right. He wanted to show me something. And so what I do is knowing that, I'm like, all right. So I'm working out my salvation. I'm like, okay, what's the message for today? You know, things like that. Seeking ye first the kingdom of God. Staying aware, keeping God in. Okay? Because I got to be ready to receive what he revealed. And so he reveals that there was a certain part of my body that had come further along healing. And I didn't notice it until after I got back in here. But he showed me. Because a certain spot the day prior, but not today. So that let me know what he worked hot and heavy on. No pun intended. Yeah, through the night. So I said, okay, that's beautiful. That's one of the things I noticed when I got up, but I didn't really take notice. So a catch-up season. Okay. There's another thing. He said, okay, after I ice packing a little bit, he said, I got to show you something else. And I said, okay. he showed me a couple of spots on the elbow that, okay, now we know what's really going on. So he said, okay, and that's what the rest of that is going to be used for, the treatment that I have. It's ketchup season. Thank you, not ketchup. Oh, goodness. All right, yeah. So everything that we've been doing, and the self-care even, for the health, it's going to catch up. Got to catch up now. And the body's got to eliminate. Got to get rid of it. Got to get rid of that stuff. The toxins and everything. You're not detoxing for nothing, right? There you go. So, well, yeah, I mean, we're detoxing because we need to get the excess salt and other toxins, whatever it is we got a hold of during the time that we deviated the first time from the blood type diet. But now this time, the blood type diet is a guide. So like today was 100% blood type diet to be as low sodium as possible. The low sodium challenge. That, oh man, I tell you, it's something. It was a 5-day challenge because God had us catching up on our nutrition. There you go. Catching up on the nutrition by putting some things back in that we need for healing. And so now we're going to do a new baseline. We're going to have a new baseline. And so we need to know what that is. So God says, okay, get in position. So I got that in position. I got that written down. And he said, you're going to tally out everything that you eat through the day. And you're going to know your baseline, your new baseline. See? Be ready to receive. And so I have it written down, being ready to receive. What's my new baseline? Yeah, I know. I feel like I'm going to be surprised again. I really do. But anyhow, that's that with it. And as we continue to detox, it's just a matter of time before things catch up. Okay, especially for those who are detoxing and working towards meeting a weight goal, it's going to catch up. Remember, focus on the internal and the external will follow. The external. There's another example. The external won't catch up with what you're feeling on the inside. Because you can feel the improvement on the inside, but it might not be showing yet on the outside because of the salt water and then the heat that swells up. Okay, so you know that's going to happen, right? It can fluctuate. See, that kind of fluctuation during the detox process, yeah, that would drive a narcissist nut. And so they would go to the matrix and look for a quick fix. Make it stop rather than just let it naturally occur like it should. So, right. And for those who are interested in detoxing, what does that look like? All right, well, stay tuned to learn more about catch-up season when we come back.
Are you tired of feeling sluggish and ready to take back control of your health? CHA Academy, BTBW.com has a course for you. CHA Academy's How to Detox from Trauma Nutrition course will provide you with fundamental tools and information to help you overcome traumatization from radio frequency poisoning and narcissistic abuse. We are subjected to toxicity from radio frequency and narcissism daily. Detoxing from the trauma is part of CHA's combat against radio frequency poisoning for healthier living. You can learn more about the How to Detox from Trauma Nutrition course at CHAacademybtbw.com and clicking on all courses. The link to the academy is also listed below for quicker access. I look forward to seeing you at CHA Academy, where iron sharpens iron with fellow spiritual warriors for Christ. Sending love and light always.
All right, all right, all right. Yes, okay. And right. Well, detoxing also includes that. Thank you, Chris. Getting rid of toxic people from our lives where possible. Oh, yeah. Part of detoxing is getting rid of toxic people from our lives. Okay, chosen one. Remember, I got the video why chosen ones fly solo. SOLO. Okay, because, well, yeah, we learn that these narcissists are the toxic people and they're the evildoers. And we're not to partake with them, we're not to associate with them unless we just have limited contact for whatever reason, work, co-parenting, right? And it is what it is. But just know that God will deliver you from that. Always. He always does. Think about it like this. How does he deliver you from that toxic workplace on a daily basis, right? When you get to clock out. Change that perspective. Yep, that's all part of it. So here in catch-up season, we're also going to get caught up on more of God's word. So catch-up season doesn't just apply to the things that we put in position, right, to reap what we've sown. It isn't just about that. Okay? It's also about us catching up. Get more of God's wisdom. Catching up with him. You see? We got to catch up with God. Let's drop that in the comments below. Catching up with God. That's right. CATCHING. Catching up with God. This on our end too. See, God says it's catch-up season. Yeah, and the spiritual coming to the physical, but it's also us catching up to him. Catching up to Jesus. By getting more of his word. Meditating on it daily. Okay. Okay, there you go. That's fine. You listen, when you enroll in courses, you well, yeah, the how to detox from trauma nutrition course for a refresher, you have access to that for 1 year from the time you enroll. So I highly encourage y'all to, yeah, even if you've completed the course and you need to revisit it, you can do that. Because that's why you have, yeah, and you can complete the course at your own pace. So there you go. All right, awesome. And that's what it's there for. And then don't forget, we have fun facts and things like that in the community forum that also goes with that. So when you go to the detox space inside the community forum, that's a good place for some more refreshers, some additional detoxing fun facts. Yep, it catch up with God season. You got that. So, yeah, God helps you cope during work by finding the positive and the lesson in what you're doing and knowing that working day will pass. There you go. Positive thinking right there. Knowing that you're going to clock out eventually. God's going to deliver you that way. You're going to clock out eventually. So you're going to make it through while you're working on whatever it is that God had you working on for his purpose. Remember that. It can start as a hobby. And for many, it does. Okay, it can start as a hobby. Now, in my case, I started as a mentor for trauma survivors. And God leveled us all the way up to consultant and coach for trauma survivors. Had us get all the things in position. Get that trauma training. That's right. We saved all our notes. And that's where we learned about the autonomic nervous system and the amygdala connection. So that way I can bring it to y'all and explain to you all what's happening Okay, and so God says it's catch-up season. So if you're healing from the trauma, you're going to overcome triggers. That's right. God said you're going to overcome triggers. And so at the same time, we're catching up with God because we still don't know all of his word yet. We've read a good bit of the Bible, but what do we really know? Well, like we're learning in the book of John, how Jesus is trying to explain how the spiritual works, and that God is in, that he is in God and God is in him. It's spiritual. So, yeah, so we're catching up with all of that. And we're going to continue because there's a lot to unpack. Because the Bible tells us about us, chosen one, and it tells us about them, the narcissist. And then we understand we're in the spiritual battle for the mind between chosen one and narcissist. And it battling that spiritual wickedness in high places, not the physical. Yeah, because we ain't wrestling against that flesh and blood. No, it's spiritual. It's in our thoughts, how we think. We have to go through that renewing of the mind. So what we've been working on through the transformation, it's catch-up season. He said, your transformation, things are catching up with us now. Finally. It's like I hear the Lord say, finally season. I was like, oh, yeah, catch-up season. He said, you got things in position to help y'all put that in perspective. Just like I said earlier, we have the Patreon channel we continue to build. That's another membership channel. We got the Academy. Don't forget, at CHA Academy, you can also become a member there if you want to take a sneak peek before deciding to enroll in a course. Because there's ways you can preview that. And you get access to the community forum as a member of the Academy. And so there's another way. And so I heard the Lord say, he said, chosen one, he who endureth to the end shall be saved. Well, we did that. We endured all of that traumatization. And then God awakened us. Jesus saved our souls. Oh, glory be to God. Saved our souls. And so God started to reveal. But now we just got to go through them tribulation to work at that patience. Oh, so important. So going through the tribulation to work at that patience. Now catch-up season. He said, yeah. He said, while we do have to do something to snatch back, God says things are catching up with you. Because God's the one making a way. You see, God's the one that has his hand on us. God's the one who is protecting us. God's the one who is saying, hey, keep the faith. He said, don't you lose no faith. But yeah, it's finally season. There you go. It's like, man. Thank you. Matthew 24, verse 13. Absolutely. Got to endure to the end. And that means the end of any tribulation also. He who endureth to the end. And you got to trust and believe. Remember what Jesus said. All it takes is us to believe. Believe and you will receive. Remember, we have to pray as though we've already received it. And so that's what we do. So, yes, it is another one of God's promises. Absolutely. You got to remember that God is the only promise keeper there is. He is the only promise keeper that there is. Yeah. The world ain't no promise keeper. The world playing the game of narcissism with future faking to keep people, waving that dangling carrot for them to chase. Oh, yeah. That's future faking. That's that game of narcissism. Empty promises, false accusation, false witnessing. I mean, all of that stuff that's going on the world stage. Oh, yeah. That's it. And chosen ones, we learn that when it catch-up season, yep, ain't no joke. Ain't no joke. You got to believe it, though. That's the big thing right there. And where do we learn that we are God's chosen people? In Isaiah 43, verse 20. Yeah, we are God's chosen people, chosen one. And so we want to remember that no matter what tries to be thrown our way, God is the only one who's going to make a way. You just have to believe that. Listen to him. He's guiding our steps. So when he says it catch-up season, it goes both ways too. So no matter what it is that you've been working on, it's catch-up season. He said, you're about to see in the physical what you've been manifesting in the spiritual. He said, you're about to see it. So be ready. Yep, be ready to receive. That's the most important part. And that's part of the vigilance and awareness. That's how you be ready to receive. Is by staying aware. Yeah, by staying aware. You're like, okay, I hear you. I hear you. So you don't miss it. And also so you don't miss the blessing. Because that's what I heard him say too. It's in the for a reason. He said, yeah, he said the blessings are abundant. And he said, they're locating you in this season. All y'all. All of it. He said, those blessings are abundant and locating us in this season. Oh, yeah. God said, he said, my blessings are looking for you. That's what he said. He said, my blessings are looking for you. Be ready. Catch-up season. Yeah. He's not, yeah. Yeah, well, there you go. Oh, that's a good way to put it. That the world is a promise breaker. Yep. How the narcissist out here will mockingly say, you know what promises are for. Breaking. Yeah. That's funny because I wrote a song, Promises Made, Promises Broken. Go figure, right? Yeah, I'm going to have to locate that one and get that up here for y'all. Unless I already have, but yeah, I don't believe so. Because I remember that was the song that was in my head waking up one morning. And that contributed to further study of my ANS, responding to the higher frequency when I hit the higher note. Promises broken. Yeah, I was like, okay. It was very interesting, by the way. It really was. And so, yes, we'll get to that also. And listen, there's a lot of things available for you all. And, well, we got to keep in mind that the intensive trauma healing course is also at CHA Academy. All right, you all. So here you go. All right, I'm going to give y'all a little more info about CHA Academy. And stay tuned for us to wrap up when God says it's catch-up season when we come back.
CHA Academy BTBW.com. You will level up your trauma healing and spiritual growth from narcissist abuse by learning how the trauma bond is formed, how to deal with toxic narcissists, how to detox from trauma, and more. Each course offers a one-time payment or 5 monthly installments. Want more information before enrolling in courses at CHA Academy? You can become a member and view course previews inside the community forum where spaces are linked to each course. You have a monthly or annual membership option, and the annual membership saves you 25%. Visit CHAacademybtbw.com, where iron sharpens iron in a growing community of spiritual warriors for Christ, to learn more.
Yeah, I was looking at the comments, and so I forgot to take my swig. Of ice water there. But yeah, that's a good point. That's a good point. It's like, so what's the point of God's blessing if they never find someone to bless? Good point. Good point. And so God always blesses his chosen one. Always. And so, yeah. And so, no, not yet. Not yet. Okay, we're catch-up season, okay? Catch-up season. And, I have to go through my stuff and things like that. But just know that, man, we... oh, yeah. And I want to remind everybody that it is a process in and of itself, and that no devil or man can stop what God's going to do and what God is doing and who he is transforming us into. Nothing can stop that. Let that sink in, because when it comes to catch-up season, yeah, nothing can stop what God is transforming us into, or who, because he's transforming us into the best version of ourselves. And we're going through that transformation by the renewing of the mind. Purge that subconscious, get more of God's wisdom, and unlearn worldly garbage. All those lies that we were told our entire lives since birth. Wow. When you think about the fact that we've been groomed since birth to tolerate the abuse later in life, well, through that grooming, a lot of lying. And, so catch-up season. Got to catch up on that too. And just to remember that there is nothing greater than knowing God's promises will come to fruition. Everything. Oh, we getting our inheritance, chosen one. The devil wants to try and block it, but he can't. So, getting a little further along with improvement and the new version of ourselves. There you go. Get further along. It's catch-up season. So, as we continue to improve ourselves, right? We continue to get better at things. We continue to just grow. We're growing spiritually. That's getting closer to God. Absolutely. 100%. And so as we grow closer to God, remember what he said in Colossians 2, verse 19. If it increase with the increase of God. Not just nutritionally, but spiritually, financially. That's right. In all areas of our life. So in order for that to happen, we got to go through catch-up season. And so another reason why it's so important to develop the godlike patience, because catch-up season. So the catch-up season kind of looks like, okay, I don't feel like I'm getting a whole lot done right now, when you are, but because you're not seeing results just yet in the physical, God said, hang tight. It's catch-up season. It's locating you in this season. Everything that you need. See, God is our number one and only provider, and he always provides. Always. We don't have to sit there and continuously check on certain things all the time, because we know that God will make a way. We know that God is always going to make sure the bills are paid. He's going to make sure that you've got food. He's going to make sure that you've got clothing. He's going to make sure that you got what you need to do his perfect will. Oh, and this is a reminder for somebody. God introduced you to what his calling is for you, and you're wondering if you have enough to get started on it. The answer is yes. Remember, during our life, God has obtained things to get started. So you have to look at what is in front of you. Let's say he's telling you to start a podcast. Well, do you have a smart device and a PC? That's all you need to get started. Because on this, you can download an MP3 recorder. Okay? Because that's the format for audio. And then you can go to rss.com and sign up. You can use whatever platform you prefer to design a photo, podcast photo. Well, you got to think of what you want to call it and all of that, what you're going to talk about. And then just hit record, talk about it. You might want some music. You might want to think about how you say, I am your host for whatever, who you are. Things like that to work out. But that's where the 5 P's course comes in to help you do that. But it's real simple. If God's calling you, I need you to start a podcast. You got everything you need. If you got a phone and you got a PC, you've got everything you need to get started right there. Okay, so let's say it's something else, some kind of other art form, and it involves painting. I guarantee you're going to find some paintbrushes somewhere. It might be in a tote. It might be in a tote, might be in the closet or a bag somewhere, but I guarantee you got some. Because over the years, God has us obtained things for that moment that he's going to introduce us to things that are part of his calling for our lives. And so it's already right there for you to get started. Because you're going to have to practice also. Yes, he sure does. God always gets us through and provides our every need. Fellow Warriors message about wealth. It's on YouTube. Yep. It sure is. There you go. A new and improved version of us, chosen one. That's what I heard the Spirit of the Lord say. And so, there you go. Yeah, I know. I see that there's some who drop off whenever my eyes get nice and close to the camera. Because we know what they're looking for. They're looking for dilated pupils and anything that might be indicating red in the corners. Because a little bit of red in the corners, y'all, a little off topic, but a little bit of red in the corner. If you notice that, that's your circulation. So, blink. Okay? It's just your circulation slowing down a little bit to that area. Because remember, there's 2 areas of the body where circulation not always on the up and up. And that's our eyes and our genitals. So, keep that in mind. And so, we're going to wrap this motivational message up now. I know that we started just a few minutes early today, and so we're going to end just a few minutes early. All right? I want to thank everybody for joining us. I want to thank y'all for catching this on the replay. And I know that, just trust and believe that when God says it's catch-up season, it's in the works. That's what he's trying to tell us. It's in the works. God is always working on stuff. And when he sees us complete something that he has us working on, now that's going to catch up. You see? That's how it works. Catch up season. You completed something. Now what God finished, it's going to catch up. And the blessing come with it. Glory be to God. Sending love and light to all fellow warriors. Thank you for watching, listening, and for your continued support. Till next time, let's show some gratitude to the Heavenly Father. And you keep being you. In Jesus' name, amen.